So in this video, I'm going to talk about what is a database. So I'll just write that up there. What is a database? And I should say this is I'm talking about what might be called a relational database, not just any old database, but this is a relational database. So to understand what a database is, we really need to understand what a spreadsheet is or a table. So you might understand this already, but I'll just draw it out. This is a simple table of information that you might draw out. So say you might have some information about some of your customers. Say you run a business and you've got some customers, and you might have their name, and you might have their telephone number, and different things like that. Uh, well, what you can do is you can put this all into a table with the field headings at the top, and these are columns here, and then you have rows. I'll leave this column here because I'll come back to this column in a minute. You might have rows of information. So this would be the first name. This you would usually call this a record here, which is one person is one record. So that they might have the name Lindsay, Linz, and they might have a telephone number which is whatever 0000, etc., etc. And then what you might have is more information going across here. Now that is what we would call a table, or you might have seen it as a spreadsheet on the computer. That's a table, okay? And what a database is, or a relational database is that you are able to put lots of these tables together. And here's how you do it. So say you have another table. Say you have another table over here, okay? And in that table you can have information. You say you send out a questionnaire and you ask all of your customers about whether they like orange juice, say, and you could have uh, one field, which is one column, which asks them what type of orange juice they like, um, the brand that they might buy. You might ask them how much do they spend on orange juice each week, all sorts of information about orange juice. And you could call this table maybe the OJ table, okay? And then this one would be the contact table, okay? Now, there's an important thing here to connect the two together because we haven't repeated any information from here. At the moment we've just got a list of stuff here that's just the type of orange juice, the brand, and how much, but we don't know which person this is connected to. So what we can have is we can have a unique ID here, an ID field, and this might be 1, and this might be 2, and this might be 3. So each person has a different number, and then basically for each one of these records in here, you can have a reference on here that connects them to the name by having a number. So you could have 1, 2, 3 again, and it will say, so, so this details here. That's all for record 1 because it says 1 here, and who is 1? Well, 1 is this person over here that has 1 here, and so you can see there's now a connection. There's a connection. So it's almost like slotting this table in behind here and having like I can draw it behind here. It's almost like having this table in behind here with records in the back there. There. Now you can have lots of these tables. You can keep going, all connected up using references, using IDs. And you can have all sorts of information. Now say we take a website, say we take something like Facebook, right? They would probably have a table with your name and your login details and so on. That's a central point of reference, and then they might have a table with information on every time that you post with a date, and then you might have a table with details for all of your pictures, and a table with details of who your friends are. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to provide buttons on the website, on Facebook. You might get a button that says see all your friends, and that will just go to the friends table, reference everyone that's connected to you, and then present all of those names. But you might also have a button that says see see all of the posts that I posted to my friends in these dates, and that presents all those posts. Or it might say, see all the things that people posted to me in these dates, and that would present a list. So it allows you to create dynamic websites that have a lot of connected information. Take another project that I was working on, for example, where they had a product being sent out, and then um, sometimes people bought and sometimes they just returned the product, and when they returned it, either way, they wanted to sort of scan a little barcode with a laser scanner. A laser scanner here. I need to, not very good at drawing laser scanners. This is a laser scanner, basically. A laser scanner, and it scans the barcode and allowed them to input information directly into the database just by scanning the barcode, whether they had bought or whether they had returned it, and how much they paid, and all sorts of information like this. And so that was a relational database that allowed you to do purchasing records and so on. So this is really useful stuff, and databases are usually written in maybe a language like SQL that allows you to basically tell the computer how to understand the database. You also have MySQL, which is what's usually used on web servers. I should probably put here relational, which basically just means that you've got lots of tables together. That's what it is. It just means that you've got a table for each type of information. You might also have the date on here. Often they'll have dates. That's quite an important one. They'll have the date on here, and that will allow you to quickly identify date reference of when people were buying and selling and what they were doing. So databases are really important, and they're used all over the place. You probably don't realize some of the time, but pretty much every major kind of business and project now has to use a database of some kind. You are basically connecting data together and understanding it and figuring it out and providing a way that you can cross-reference and pick up information really quickly. And now one question you might ask is why don't we just put it all on one big table? Okay, and for most things, you could almost put it on one big table if you wanted to. You could just have, for each person you have name, Lindsay, telephone number, and then type of orange juice they like, a brand of orange juice they like, and then you've got other questions you ask them, and dates, and the reference of this post and that post they sent, and this product they bought, and you could just keep on going, get infinitely large. The problem is that it just gets so complicated very quickly. This table gets so long very quickly that it just becomes almost impossible to search through it all. Even with a high-powered computer, it starts getting quite complex. And it's much more logical when you've got a larger amount of data to write it into separate tables that handle different types of data, and that speeds everything up because it allows you to just check to say you just want a set of dates, so you can just check the date table. Or say you want some products that someone bought, you can just check the product table. Or where people live, you can just check the town table, and so on. And you can have different logical tables. So it's all to do with making things easier, making it quicker, and keeping things logical. So I think that pretty much explains databases. I hope I haven't confused you too much with all of that information, but hopefully you understand a bit more about that now. Thanks for watching.